You all know that French is a Romance language, but have you ever wondered why French sounds so different from other Romance languages like Spanish, Italian, or Portuguese? Let me give you an example. Here's how the phrase, "I don't want to do it," is said in these four languages. In Italian,
Non voglio farlo.
Spanish,
No quiero hacerlo.
Portuguese,
Não quero fazê-lo.
pretty similar, right? Now let's hear it in French.
Je ne veux pas le faire.
Well, I don't hear too many similarities, do you? So, how did this happen? To answer that, we need to understand how modern French was formed. In today's video, I'm going to give you a brief history of the French language, and you'll find the answer to that question here. French is a Romance language that evolved from the Gallo-Romance dialects, spoken in northern France. Before the Roman conquest of what is now France by Julius Caesar between 58 and 52 BC, much of present-day France was inhabited by Celtic-speaking peoples, known to the Romans as Gauls and Belgae. The Celtic population of Gaul spoke a language called Gaulish. After the Roman conquest, Latin became the dominant language in Gaul. As the local population learned Latin, it developed distinct local characteristics, with grammatical differences from Latin as spoken in other regions. Over time, this local variant evolved into the Gallo-Romance languages, which include French and its closest relatives, such as Arpidan. Although French evolved from these Gallo-Romance dialects, it was influenced by the native Celtic Gaulish language due to the coexistence of the two languages for over 500 years. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the late 5th century, a group of Germanic peoples known as the Franks began to gradually conquer the region that is now France. The development of French in Gaul was heavily influenced by the Germanic invasions. These invasions had the greatest impact on the northern part of the country and the language spoken there. A linguistic divide began to form across the country. The people in the north spoke
Langue d'Oïl.
while the population in the south spoke.
Langue d'Oc.
Langue d'Oil evolved into what is known as Old French. This period of Old French lasted from the late 8th century to the mid-14th century. Although Old French still shared many characteristics with Latin, it was greatly influenced by the Germanic Frankish language. Around 15% of modern French vocabulary consists of Germanic loanwords. For example, the word garden in modern French, it's jardin. The similarity of the two words is not the result of Norman conquest. Actually, it's a French loanword from Frankish. During the medieval period, especially during the Crusades, French became so dominant in the Mediterranean that it became a lingua franca, meaning a common language used for communication between people who speak different native languages. As French-speaking Crusaders came into contact with the Arabs, many Arabic loanwords entered the language, such as admiral, alcohol, cotton, and syrup, along with scientific terms like algebra, alchemy, and zero. During the Hundred Years' War, Old French gradually evolved into Middle French, a process that particularly took place from the late 14th century onwards. This transition was marked by significant changes in the language's structure, including the loss of many noun declensions and the simplification of verb conjugations. Additionally, the rise of the Francian dialect, spoken in the Paris region, played a key role in the standardization of the language, laying the foundation for what would later become modern French. After the Middle French period, the French language entered a golden age. During the 17th century, French replaced Latin as the most important language of diplomacy and international relations. For 2 centuries, France was the leading land power in Europe, and with the influence of the Enlightenment, French became the lingua franca of educated Europe, particularly in the fields of arts, literature, and diplomacy. Monarchs such as Frederick II of Prussia and Catherine the Great of Russia spoke and wrote in excellent French. The Russian, German, and Scandinavian courts used French as their main or official language, regarding their national languages as the language of the peasants. French retained this dominant role until the mid-20th century. After World War II, English began to replace French as the dominant global language, largely due to the rise of the United States as a world power. However, French remains an important language in global diplomacy, culture, and academia even today. Now back to the question at the beginning. Why does French sound so different from other Romance languages? This is because, after over 1,000 years of blending with Celtic and Germanic languages, French, though still fundamentally a Romance language, has evolved in a way that makes it very distinct from its Southern European cousins. Take Italian, for example, a language that preserves the most Latin features. While French and Italian share a significant amount of cognate vocabulary, their mutual intelligibility in spoken form is no more than 50%, which is much lower than the mutual intelligibility between Italian and Spanish. To wrap up, the evolution of French from its Celtic and Germanic influences gives it a unique sound compared to other Romance languages. While it shares a common Latin origin with languages like Italian and Spanish, centuries of linguistic evolution have shaped French into something distinct. Thanks for watching, and I hope you now have a deeper understanding of why French is the way it is.